welcome everyone to the Simple Times podcast, episode 27. We are back from a month-long, 2 weeks long, almost a month actually, I think now. Month-long, I won't say hiatus because we never went away. We were just busy with shit. But we're back, and boy, do we have some things to talk about. You know, like our regular stuff, we got our simple shout-outs. We have a new ad that we got to read, History with Jefe. We've got a special story that I have about a cyst. You know, we could talk about that. That'd probably be about the good part of the episode. Simple Times news, jokes with Jefe, the simple stuff, the regular stuff, the everyday episode type stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. Episode 27, The Exorcist. You'll find out why. Let's get to it.
Okay, episode 27. Yeah, 27 episodes in the making.
That's the date my birthday's on. Not, November 27th, but still 27.
Oh, sweet. And it's so good to be back here at
Beach Glass Studios,
where it's just happening here.
Oh, yeah.
So many things.
We're expanding. We're hearing some great things about our new one, A Fear in Review.
I was just going to mention that not only is Simple Times doing great things, but we have A Fear in Review under our wing.
Yep, which hopefully within the next maybe couple of weeks, we should have a whole new podcast stream that you guys can go and follow. But as of right now, we just have the Instagram up, which is Andrew.
It's a Fear in Review podcast, I believe.
I thought you were looking it up. That's why I was throwing it over to you.
Well, let me look it up.
My bad.
Let me look it up because we promised.
Yeah.
Rory.
Yep.
Host of A Fear in Review, that we'll promote.
Yes.
So we got to remember we're promoting now.
Yes, we are. We are promoters.
We are part promoters. You thought we were just a podcast.
Yeah. Right.
But no, we're promoters. A Fear in Review. Everybody, stop what you are doing and go to Instagram, which is where their social media main.
That's probably going to be, as of now, probably going to be our only one because I don't think either one of me or Rory really do any other podcasts. So I mean, not podcast, any other social media. So
go on Instagram and it's so easy. Just search A Fear in Review. It's one word. That's all it is.
Yep.
And he's going to be putting up stuff soon, hopefully, and you'll be able to get the news and the updates on when the new episodes will be dropping. So once again, A Fear in Review on Instagram.
Yep.
If you want to know more, listen to the previous podcast that we put out here on Simple Times so you can get an introduction of what A Fear in Review will be all about. But next, what we have for you is we do have Marcelo.
Simple shout-outs.
Simple shout-outs. And this time, it's from an unlikely place. We got a simple shout-out on Facebook.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, and it's crazy because...
I keep forgetting about Facebook.
Me too. The only reason why I go on Facebook is just to post that we have a new episode out. But do I use it?
I didn't even know you went that far on Facebook.
Yeah, so apparently, this is what I did.
Okay.
This simple shout-out is from an old episode. It's from St. Patrick's Day episode.
All right.
From an episode back in March. And I don't know how I missed it. Okay, I know how I missed it. I don't go on Facebook.
Yeah.
But I logged into Facebook, logged into our account, and lo and behold, we have a comment. So let me explain this one to you.
Okay.
So every time we have a new episode drop, I put a little update on Facebook. I write a post. So I use this picture of St. Patrick. And for the people listening, I'm going to try to describe this photo. Think about like an old Renaissance painting, from, I don't know, the 1500s or whatever. Like
something that you would see in like the Getty or like the Louvre or something like that.
Right. Something painted probably for a Catholic church because of, it's St. Patrick that we're talking about. And so picture St. Patrick in that kind of style of painting, like an oil painting with like a halo type thing over his head. And it's that painting, but the head is pasted onto a t-shirt. a green T-shirt because St. Patrick's Day green.
Right.
And Marcelo, I want you to read what St. Patrick's shirt says.
Okay. I drove all the snakes out of Ireland, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt.
So it's a funny picture.
Yeah.
I like to get people's attention by
which we had talked about him driving out the snakes and all that stuff. So
exactly.
right.
And so guess who commented on that photo?
Well, I'm sure it's not my mother.
It was not your mother.
So other than that, I don't know who else really.
Your father.
My father?
Your father.
What the fuck?
The guy who provided the seed to bring you into fruition.
The one who tells me that he doesn't listen to the podcast, yeah?
He, well, maybe he still doesn't, but at least he commented on this post.
Okay.
So, are you able to do a your dad impression?
No. Because, it'd just be a grumpy guy.
Can you do a grumpy guy? This is what he.
I guess.
This is what he commented on that picture of St. Patrick with the T-shirt that says, "I drove all the snakes out of Ireland, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt."
Okay. Ha 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 ha! Good one. LOL.
Your dad loves the podcast.
He loves the T-shirt. I'll give him that.
So that was a surprise for me, and I'm sure
a surprise for me too. Yeah, like I said, every time I ask him if he's listened to the podcast, he goes, "Oh no."
You know, he's going to come around one day and say, "My son is
but you know
amazing."
What? My tia Becky, she does try to listen, but a lot of the times they say that they can't find it, but I have it.
You walked her through it.
Yeah, I set it up for them to where it just downloads. It's just they just always forget about it.
Tia Becky, it's not that hard. Just hit play.
Ask my mom; she listens.
Okay, so if you want to be featured on Simple Shoutouts, there's a few easy ways to do it. The first way is write to us. Send us an email, good old email. Email us at simpletimespodcast@gmail.com with your comments, questions, anything you have to say to us, and you will be featured.
Recommendations, whatever, yeah.
Anything. We're up for anything. This show is, you could be part of the show. And then the next best place to reach us at is Instagram. That's where we're most active. But of course, you could always follow us on Facebook and X. And that's pretty much where we're at right now. But yeah, I see you staring at your shirt over here, Marcelo.
Yeah.
It is a nice, loud shirt.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Isn't it quite?
You know, it suits you very well when you came over to my house and I saw that shirt.
In the daytime, which is very odd for us to record. Usually we're recording at night, but yeah, no, we're in broad daylight now, so.
Yeah, it's 3 in the afternoon.
Yep.
We're at Beach Glass Studios. Sorry.
Beach Glass.
You're going to have to, slap me on the wrist.
Okay.
Every time I do that, I got to get our name right.
Yeah.
3 in the afternoon, Beach Glass Studios. Marcelo brought over some Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we're feeling good today.
Yes, we are.
But not only are we feeling good, Marcelo, you're looking hot.
I can't deny it. I can't.
That blue design really brings out your eyes.
Yeah, this shirt actually. Well, my mom went to the Bahamas. I think we talked about on one of the previous ones
on the previous episode.
And actually, this was one of the shirts that she thought she lost. She was like so when I saw her, like, I think that, did I pick her up from the airport? Yeah, I picked her up from the airport when she came back, and went back to her house to drop off the luggage and all that stuff. And she was going through, of course, give me all the souvenirs and luggage and things that she bought me. Like she had got me
a keychain, a pencil,
no keychain, no,
a coconut bra,
no, not that. She couldn't find my size.
Oh, gotcha.
So, no, but she got me in fact, another shirt quite similar to this, but it was so this one, it's like a white. It's weird. It's almost like a terry cloth feel.
It looks nice.
It's thin, yeah,
thin, light, yeah.
And this one has.
I'm actually jealous. I'm not going to lie.
This one has maybe like 2 or maybe 3 islands on it. I was trying to look for. I see that it's got British Virgin Islands, Tortola, and I think that might be it, unless there's like one on the back somewhere. But I think that's it.
It's really cool. You know why I like it so much is because it's making a comeback. I think. The Hawaiian shirts.
Those have actually been making a comeback for a little bit. Yeah.
So when I saw you wearing that, I was like, Dang, I didn't know Marcelo was cooler than me.
And then so she got me this one, which is a white, like I said, white terry cloth, thin kind of feel, and then with blue designs of like an island, a couple palm trees and stuff like that, and then a couple windsurfers and stuff. I think either windsurfers or sailboats. Either way, there's something with big sails on them. It's got the two islands, which I believe are the two that are close to each other, Tortola and the British Virgin Islands. And then there's another one, same kind of material, but it's black. And it's got same kind of like island, palm tree kind of design. And I think it's got like St. Martin's.
Oh, that's where I went, St. Martin.
And
Saint Martin.
yeah, and then I want to say like the island of Bahama. There's like two other. That one I think has 3 islands on it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like that one. But I don't know. I was just kind of feeling the blue today, so I kind of put this one on, and I got this. She got me another shirt, long sleeve, that said, "I'm going through my bucket list, one beer at a time." What else did she get me? She got me another shirt that she got from Tortola by a company or a guy called Piranha Joe.
Wow.
The thing I thought was pretty cool about that one is that they have
that he always has blood like on his teeth.
Almost.
Oh.
But no, he's got at the bottom of every shirt that he sells, he attaches a little like fake stuffed piranha to the bottom to look like it's like, bit onto your shirt, not letting go, kind of a thing. So
that's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. What else did she get me? She got me a couple bars of soap because she thought that I said I like sandalwood. I don't really know what sandalwood smells like. My dad was curious. My dad likes the smell of sandalwood, so she got me 2 bars of soap that are sandalwood scented.
And those are the soaps that she stole from the cabin.
Yeah, no, she actually, I think she ended up stealing those from one of the shops. Because it didn't say anything about like the cruise ship that she was on.
Okay, well, I was not expecting that. I was just trying to make a joke.
What else did she get me? There was a couple of things, but I can't. Now I can't remember what else she got. But I want to say there's maybe like 1 or 2 other things that she had gotten me.
Well, she showered you with so many gifts.
Yeah, she did. So
that shirt looks good on you. And for those of you listening, this picture of Marcelo wearing the shirt will be up on Instagram.
Okay.
Because I was just telling Marcelo that we gotta put some pictures of us up there.
Yeah.
So, be on the lookout.
So yeah, so she came back, from the Bahamas. She had fun at the Bahamas, and then she left for a little trip last week.
Another trip?
Yeah, a small one. She had always wanted to go to Tombstone, so she went down to Tombstone.
Baller.
Yeah, I guess. Got another shirt there and a mug that said, "I'll be your Huckleberry."
Oh, nice. From the movie Tombstone.
From Doc Holliday, yeah.
Doc Holliday in Tombstone. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So, which I'll be honest, I'm a little jealous about because I've wanted to go to Tombstone and check things out, both, on the paranormal kind of ghost side because, they do say it's haunted, the Birdcage Theater and, just all the restless spirits and stuff like that. And then also just because they do a lot of reenactments every day, I guess they do like a whole gunfight reenactment kind of a thing. So,
that's fun.
It's grown too in popularity. So
I remember as a kid going to Knott's and they'd have those shows where they do little skits and
I think they still do, yeah. And especially
those
on the train,
cool.
especially on the train when they have the train robbery.
I was a kid. And that always scared me.
Oh, really?
I got scared that they would like point me out. And I knew it was an act, but at the same time it felt real.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to be like called out because they improvise.
Right.
And I'm like, please don't look at me.
Yeah.
I had that feeling.
It's that fear of like public speaking kind of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm remembering watching those. I'm like, man, that's really cool.
Yeah. And it's funny, like going as an adult, which I've been, I think, once or twice as an adult, and then going as a kid on that train robbery thing. It was so much better as a kid, not because it's like, oh yeah, it's an imagination thing, but I felt like the actors were like a little like were able to do more because I remember like them going around really being like rough and gruff and stuff like that, and I do remember that I had one like those glow in the dark neon like necklaces, and then one of the guys was like, "Hey, boys, come look at this ring around the rosy," you know, and they're doing all that stuff. And then now these guys are just kind of like, "Hey guys, come on up, put your hands up." Like it seems like that they're
more politically correct.
I wouldn't say that. It just kind of seemed like that they're a little more like because
conscious of people's feelings.
No, I think it's because they're younger, so they don't quite like know of that time period as much. I mean, they didn't grow up like if you look at like the older generations, they came up with like the Western movies, right. So they kind of have that idea of like how a gun shooter should be
in their head. They know it.
Right, yeah.
They can. What's the word?
Channel like the
channel that
right.
Western cowboy spirit. Where nowadays, the new generation, they're so far removed from that.
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't really been much. I mean, of course they can go back, but like you just don't really have that many Western movies anymore. I think the only one that comes to mind is Rango. Like, remember Rango?
Rango was good. I
know they've like try to remake them, like with the Magnificent Seven with Chris Pratt and Denzel Washington.
There was.
I mean, the closest new Western, I guess you could say, would be like Mandalorian. Because it's a space Western essentially.
Space Western, okay.
He's like Mandalorian's a gunfighter that goes from planet to planet trying to take care of the bad guys.
We talked about this movie last time. What was it? The Seth MacFarlane movie?
Oh yeah, A Million Ways to Die in the West. Yeah,
that's kind of Western.
Take your hat off, boy. There's a dollar bill.
Oh, we would have had a new Western movie starring Alec Baldwin, but he decided to go shoot someone.
He did not. The armorer decided to have a live bullet on set, so that's a whole nother thing.
Well, we're talking about Westerns, and they don't make them anymore, but we could have had one.
Yeah, which I heard was Rust, wasn't it called? Rust
was the film, and not gonna lie, it would have been nice to see a modern Western, but man, why people gotta be dying, son?
Maybe one day somebody will pick it up, or
pick it up, redo it,
or have another Western of that quality,
and not put bullets in their guns.
Yeah, you just gotta be armor's gotta be able to step up and have the balls to regulate shit. So
yeah, I agree. Well, with that aside,
I mean, speaking of going back to like train robberies and stuff like that, not the fake train robberies. I think we have don't we have another ad from our fake ad company?
We do. Hey, nice segue.
Thank you. I try.
I rate that segue a nice 7.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, we do have a fake ad. Now, let me just pull it up because you're going to be doing the reading as always.
Okay.
But, Marcelo, I have some good news and I have some bad news.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the bad news first.
All right.
The bad news is that Fake Ads, the company that sends us the fake ads to read, they were a little displeased with the Coffees. Remember Coffees?
Oh, yeah.
Carbonated coffee?
Correct, yeah.
They were a little displeased that you read it. They said you read it way too fast.
Well, I mean,
way too fast.
Well, their Coffees shouldn't have been so good. Shouldn't have been so potent.
I agree with you. And so it was read way too fast that it was indistinguishable. That's their words, not mine. I disagree. I thought it was fantastic. So because of that, they can't send us the check of $1,000. However, we're ready for the good news now?
Okay.
The good news is that another company, they reached out to Fake Ads.
Okay.
And they want to partner with them.
Uh-huh.
So there was kind of like synergy going on. And they said, we want Marcelo to read this new product because he read it just incredibly well. That works well with our product. So the Fake Ads is giving us one more chance.
Okay.
Because they love your reading style. and they want you to read this ad for this new product called Crack with a K.
Okay. Are you tired of feeling groggy in the mornings? Are you noticing that Starbucks is not helping you get the ball rolling anymore? Have you tried getting a full 8 hours of sleep every night and still feeling like you only slept 8 minutes? Well, we have a new product just for you. Introducing Crack with a K. That's right, K-R-A-C-K, Crack. A new powdery substance that you can literally add to anything that you want to consume. Want to add crack to your morning coffee? Go right ahead. Want to give a boost to your protein smoothie? Well, sprinkle a little crack in there too. Crack is the only substance that can give you the strength of 10 men, the speed of 100 cheetahs, and the focus you need of 1,000,000 Einsteins. Crack comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like crack for 30 days, we'll give you your money back. For orders, call 1-800-CRACK-4ME. Once again, that's 1-800-KRAK-4ME. That's Crack with a K. Call today.
Unbelievable, Marcelo. You just won us $1,000. I shouldn't say
I
won.
hope.
You earned us.
I hope.
$1,000.
I hope. Maybe then we could finally replenish from all that from the money that Patty stole us, I guess. I don't know.
Just to remind you, Marcelo, he didn't steal it.
Well, I don't know. I kind of feel like he should have at least sent us something. But hey, that's
I can't argue with that.
That's in the past. That's history. So
that is history. And speaking of history,
I guess we got.
Once again, that was a good segue, Marcelo.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I'm on a roll today.
I give that segue an 8.
Okay.
So.
And given our history, that's pretty decent. But let's get into
History with Hefe.
On this day, April 28th, in 1937, the first commercial flight across the Pacific, operated by Pan Am, was conducted. I would say, yeah,
flying high in the sky.
Yep, across the Pacific. Wow, that's farther or bigger than the Atlantic.
Yeah.
On this day in TV and film, in 1928, this is actually a pretty cool one. RCA and GE install 3 test television sets in homes of Schenectady?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, right? In New York, allowing trials of inventor E.F.W. Alexanderson's first home television receiver. A poor and unsteady 1.5 square inch picture was received from a radio transmitter.
So the first TV was like the size of my thumb.
Might have been, yeah.
I bet it sold for like 10 grand or something.
These were trials. So these aren't even like they sold them. It's just they just happened to able to create it.
Imagine watching the first TV, like when the first radio popped up.
Yeah.
People were like, "Mother, the box is talking."
Yeah, probably.
But imagine what it would have been like to see the first screen.
Yeah.
You'd think you were seeing some kind of
some
demonic,
kind of light coming out of a box. Yeah,
with picture. You would think there's someone in there
because there probably isn't even any sound at that time either. So it's probably just straight, just glowing light or something. I wouldn't even say digital at the time. It's just some type of light. On this day also in 1965, My Name is Barbara. The Barbra Streisand's first television special premieres on CBS.
Oh, interesting.
On this day in sports, in 2003, Andre Agassi, one of my favorite tennis players of all time, recaptures the world #1 ranking to become the oldest top-ranked male in the history of the ATP rankings. Do you want to take a guess of how old he was to become the oldest #1 ranked male in ATP tennis?
Well, the fact that you have a surprised tone, I'm gonna say he was really young, so maybe 22.
Nope, not quite. He was 33.
And he was the oldest.
He was 33 and 13 days old.
Wow.
And he still is. I don't think anybody's come close to that. I'll have to look at that and see. But at the time, I know for sure at the time, he was the oldest top-ranked male in history of the ATP.
Wow. Yeah, he was amazing. I remember watching him and hearing big news about him in the sports world.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great.
Here's a fun fact about today. In 1902, the standard year zero definition of the Gregorian calendar, meaning, we go towards what the Gregorian calendar debuts as year zero. On this day, in 1902, the 1 billionth minute since the start of January 1st, year zero, occurred at 10:40 a.m.
In what year?
In 1902.
1902.
So in
1 billion.
The 1 billionth minute since the creation of the Gregorian calendar's year zero.
Interesting.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Famous birthdays on this day. We have former President James Monroe, who was, I believe, the 5th U.S. president.
Oh, cool. Happy birthday.
Lionel Barrymore. Does that name sound familiar at all? First or last name? No?
Barrymore, yes.
The grandfather of Drew Barrymore. Yep. Who started, because she comes from an acting family. There's Lionel Barrymore, and then I can't remember who her father was. Let me see if it says here, actually. It doesn't. But I can't remember who her dad is, or who his son is, who became Drew Barrymore's dad. But anyways, he was born on this day. Oh, by the way, James Monroe was born on this day, 1758. Lionel Barrymore was born on this day, 1878.
Same day?
No.
Oh.
Same day, yeah, but 100 years later.
Wow.
Also, see, this name sounds familiar. Harper Lee was born on this day in 1926. That name, no, not at all.
Not to me.
Okay, well, maybe what so she's an author. Maybe what she wrote would refresh memory. Just a little book called To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Classic.
she's born on this day in 1926, and Middle East dictator Saddam Hussein also had a birthday this year on today in 1937.
You know the thing about Saddam Hussein is he was so damn insane.
He not only that, but I mean he hung around for quite a bit. So.
That was a good joke. Hey, this is jokes with that man. Save that for the end.
A few other celebrity birthdays on this day. Jay Leno, comedian and late night talk show host Jay Leno, his 74th birthday today.
And his chin's 75th birthday.
Probably, yeah. It's a little further out there. Also, Penelope Cruz, actress Penelope Cruz, celebrates her 50th birthday today.
50, wow.
Rapper Too Short celebrates his 58th birthday, as well as actress Jessica Alba.
Oh, nice.
Her 43rd birthday today.
Wow.
Another fun fact about today, Shrek the sheep from Terrace Central Otago, New Zealand. I hope I'm pronouncing all that right. Is finally shorn, meaning you know when you shear, yeah, exactly, shear, giving a haircut.
A little haircut, a little trim.
Live on TV after 6 years of avoidance. Now, why there were 6 years, I don't know. Maybe they couldn't find it. It was hard. I don't know. But the fleece that they shorn off weighed 27 kilograms, or also known as 60 pounds.
60 pounds.
60 pounds of fleece.
Dang, that's a heavy fleece.
That's a lot of sweaters.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
Because my daughter's like 40, 45 pounds.
Oh, really?
I
So,
can
yeah.
barely pick her up.
Yeah,
So,
so
60 pounds
60
of fleece?
pounds of fleece coming off of one sheep.
Oh, man. I have to see the chiropractor the next day just
Yeah.
picking that up.
Yeah, right? Famous deaths on today is a fascist dictator from Italy, Benito Mussolini. He died on this day in 1945. And a couple other people died, none that I really recognize.
Nothing worth mentioning, huh?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I'm sure that they have done something big in their time, but as far as, Oh, wait a minute.
Nothing simple
this
times
name's-
worthy.
This name's... Oh, here it is. One of the first few known female pirates died on this day. Mary Read.
Oh.
She died on this day in 1721. But nobody knows when she was born because there's not many record of her of her previous life from before being a pirate.
You think she said "shiver me timbers"?
Possibly.
Just wondering.
But the little story that I wanted to talk about, hopefully, was also part of a history thing. On this day, in 1639,
Ooh, story time.
after the Great Plague of London broke out in 1665, 100,000 people, almost a quarter of the population, were dead within 7 months. Those who could afford it fled the capital to escape the pestilence, but distance was no protection, as villagers 160 miles away in Eam, Derbyshire, were to discover. When George Vickers, the village tailor, took delivery of bale of cloth from London, he found it to be damp and hung it out to dry by a fire. He had no idea that by doing so, he was introducing death into the community. Vickers was unaware that fleas from rats caused by the plague, and that this cloth was infested with them. Within a week, he was dead. By the end of the month, 5 other villagers had died, and another 23 fell victim in the following month. And then a legend was created. After fatalities mounted, the church leader William Mompson, who was born on this day in April 28th, in 1639, took the courageous decision to isolate the village from the outside world, thus preventing the spread of the disease. Sound familiar? Kind of like a quarantine that we had a few years ago?
Yeah.
Some of the villagers wanted to flee, but Mompesson worked with another clergyman, Thomas Stanley, and they were the driving force of persuading everybody to stay. The quarantine was a momentous decision by the villagers, who knew that they might well be giving their own lives to save others. Grateful outsiders brought money, which was left in a water trough containing vinegar, to sterilize the coins, and food, which was left at the boundary of the village. Thus, the villagers were not left to starve. When the plague had finally taken its toll by November 1666, 260 people out of EM's population of 350 were dead. They included Mompesson's wife, Caroline. Their sacrifice may have well saved many thousands of lives in north of England, and the historic episode is still commemorated each year in the village.
Wow.
So
Insane.
see how good one little quarantine can do?
I guess.
And then there's a post that says West End Cottage. This cottage was built in 1553, and the following victims of the plague died here. And it lists 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people that died in this cottage. In this one cottage, looked like they were all related because they all had the same last name as Wilson. So it might have all been one big family that died in one cottage.
Oh,
So
sad.
yeah, don't mean to end it on a sad note, but that's history with Hefe.
As always, beautiful history. Can't get enough history.
I try.
And after hearing that story about a disease that was just taking out
Something that just had
the
to be
whole
taken
family.
out. Yeah.
Well,
Some festering cyst or wound or something.
just like a cyst. Wait,
Hey, wait a minute. I had a cyst.
you did.
I did.
And that's what this whole episode is all about. We're finally getting into
I
the
finally
meat
went
of it.
to an exorcist to get it removed.
Yes.
Um,
Wait,
did I talk about this on
Wait
the
a
last
second.
one? Uh-huh.
that segue.
Yeah.
I give it a 9.
Okay, so I'm getting better.
I'm
getting better.
a solid 9 segue.
All right,
right
I'm getting
there.
better. Did I talk about the cyst on the last episode?
No, we did not.
No, we did not. Okay, so
That's why we're talking about cyst right now.
I just want to know how far back we have to go, or how far back I have to go in the story.
Just tell the story from the beginning.
So
Marcelo showed me the cyst.
And I had you feel it, correct?
You had me feel it, and then you said, "I'm gonna go have this thing removed."
So When I had you feel it, was it the size of a pea still,
First of all,
or was it big?
Tell these listeners where the cyst was located. I don't want them picturing me feeling you up.
Oh, you were feeling all right. Right in the middle of my chest.
Yes.
So
it was the size of a pea.
So luckily I wasn't a woman. But okay, so it was the size of a pea. Okay, so you felt it before it got infected.
Okay, yeah.
So for the listeners, about a year, for those that don't know, because I've told a couple people, about a little over a year ago, maybe a year and a half max, I felt a little lump on my chest. And, kind of a lump that you occasionally feel, and you just figure, oh, it's a swollen lymph node, goes down, goes away. This one didn't. And I kind of kept feeling it every once in a while, wouldn't get any bigger. 6 months after first feeling it, it got bigger, but just a little bit. Now they're about 6 months or so later, so we're talking about a year and a half, roughly. It got up to probably about the size of a pea, and I was like, okay, well, I need to get this checked out now, because if it's going to be growing, you definitely need to go get checked out.
Take over your whole chest, and then it gets worse, and better to take care of it right now before it makes, I don't know, damage to your insides.
With my mom's background with having breast cancer, figured, can't hurt to get it checked out.
You don't want it to be the C.
So I went to see the doctor back in, I want to say probably February, maybe even as late as like early March, and he felt it, and he kind of looks at it, squeezes it, kind of checks it out, and because you couldn't see it on the skin, you could only feel it. Well, but then again, I did have hairy chest at the time. I've trimmed it since. I'll get to it why later. And he goes, good news and bad news is, the good news is it's not cancerous, it's not dangerous, so that's
Yay.
good news. He said, but the bad news is it is a sebaceous cyst that will need to be removed, possibly at some point in the future. So we started talking about it, and he just said sebaceous cysts can happen many different ways, many different reasons, many different areas on your body. More commonly, which wasn't the case in my case, but the more commonly is it happens in areas that aren't quite washed properly or thoroughly. But in my case, it wasn't that, because it's the center of my chest. I can't, it's not that I can't. I mean, I'm not that much. I'm pretty flexible to reach my chest and wash my chest.
Right.
And but he says in my case, what most likely could be, given the amount of body hair that I had, a hair follicle had died, fell out, but the pore that the hair follicle fell out didn't close up. Now, with your hair, one of the things that your hair does, and usually it's kind of the cause for like most dandruff, is when the hair grows, it pushes out dead skin.
Right.
Well, without that hair being in that pore, and that hair follicle not being there to regenerate new hair, the dead skin cells kind of pack in itself. It just kind of fall into the pore. So he says it looks like it just may have packed in and just kind of, filled up.
Kind of created that clog or something?
Yeah, basically. And so he says that a couple different ways that we could take care of it. The less evasive way, mind you, actually first he had said for the size that it was, leave it alone. He's not going to do anything about it. If it becomes infected and it starts growing, getting red, whatever the case may be, he says we can take care of a couple different ways. The less evasive way, antibiotics. Simple antibiotics. See if it goes away. Yeah, amoxicillin, penicillin. I can't remember can't remember the ones that I got, but anyways, antibiotics. See if it goes away. Next step up would be to drain it. Put a needle in, suck it out, drain it out. Good way to lower the inflammation. However, if you do not get out the sac of which the cyst has now created, it could just grow back. You could get another one, be back in there another couple weeks, couple months, couple years, whatever it is.
So you tried the...
No. So I didn't try anything yet.
Oh, you didn't try anything yet? Oh.
The most evasive way of which they remove a cyst is by simple surgery within office. You cut it, you squeeze out the pus, squeeze out whatever it's filled with, and then you remove the sac and cut it out. And then that guarantees it's not coming back. However, it's a bit of an evasive thing because, I mean, it's basically like a bit of a surgery.
Surgery. They're
kind
cutting
of.
into you,
quote
slicing,
unquote,
dicing.
quote unquote surgery. It's not even really an outpatient procedure. It's something that could literally be done at an urgent care, which I had mine done at. Because 2 weeks after I went to go see the doctor, it started to become red.
Oh.
Started to develop a whitehead. So I thought, cool, it's going to pop on its own, and then I won't have to really deal with it much for now, at least.
Yeah.
Whitehead went away, but it started to grow and grow and grow and become painful.
Ouch.
But now here's the downside. The area where it was at, it was right in the way of a seatbelt.
Oh, so it was painful.
It was getting agitated the more it grew. Through just shirts, sweaters. I mean, like even if I had like a zip-up hoodie, the zipper was right in the way, so it would rub on it.
So it was getting to a point where you just couldn't stand it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like I couldn't. I was even having a hard time working out. Doing kickboxing because we would do sometimes push-ups, or if we happened to have to clench the bag, if I got too close to it, happened to bump into it, it would hurt.
Wow. So what's crazy is that I remember you were telling me, I made an appointment for Tuesday to get it removed surgically or whatever. And then out of nowhere, I see you start posting on Instagram like on Sunday that you were getting this procedure done. So what happened there?
So when I had called the doctor on the Friday before, I think it was the Friday before, it's because I couldn't stand it anymore. I was like, I could barely do anything, really move my arms, stretch my chest without it somewhat getting, I wouldn't say it was hurting, but without getting it annoying. It was just that annoying little pain. So I had thought, well, if I call my doctor on Friday, I've been there already to get it checked out. And he had told me, he was like, yeah, if it gets, infected, come back, we'll do one of the steps. So I had thought, well, maybe if I call in early enough on Friday, he'll have an opening that day and say, come into the office, we'll take care of it. And then I could have that Saturday, and because we had at work, we had that Saturday off. So I would have had, all of Friday night, Saturday, Sunday to recoup, be back on Monday. But he didn't. He didn't have an opening on Friday. So I was like, okay, well, let me just go home then. I won't have anything on it, no shirt. I'll have the whole weekend to just let it relax. Hopefully maybe it's only getting aggravated because of all the rubbing it has to do with clothes and seat belts and all that stuff.
Seat belt, zipper.
Correct.
Hugging the punching bag.
Exactly. So
hugging the trees. Tree hugger you.
I try. Well, I mean, look at all the palm trees I have. Of course I'm going to.
Of course you love trees.
Of course I have to. And so I tried that. And, Friday night I went to my mom's house to help her shop. And we didn't get many things, but the things that I was carrying, I was like, okay, something's aggravating it.
So carrying something.
Carrying something that I had to move my chest with.
Was.
Yeah. So think of like carrying a case of water. You have to carry out in front of you.
Yeah.
So again, just like now I was getting to like any little motion with my chest. It was like getting annoying because it was like right on the inside of my pec. So if I flex my pec a certain way carrying something, it would aggravate it. So I told my mom, so I asked her, I was like, hey, since you work at urgent cares, can you get a hold of Dr. Reddy or Christina, who's one of the nurse practitioners that works at Reddy? I said, can you...
Dr. Reddy, was he ready?
No, Dr. Reddy was not ready, and it's her. She was traveling up north. I love Dr. Reddy. She's so sweet, so nice. I knew she could get it done in a flash, but she was out of town.
Oh,
couldn't get a hold of Christina. Saturday. Did I go over to my mom's house on Friday? It was either Friday. It was one of those days. But I do remember. No, take it back. We did not. It wasn't on Friday. It was on Saturday. Friday, I spent the night at home. And anyways, it's just small details. My mom had texted Christina, tried to see where she was going to be at because there's multiple locations that she bounces from. Didn't hear anything until Saturday, and I told my mom, I was like, okay, well, if we think about it, I'll go. And Christina was like, because she texted too late on Saturday, so all the urgent cares had closed. She goes, Sunday morning, I'm at the Ready Urgent Care in Paramount. Between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Come by anytime, and I'll take care of it. So I said, okay, well, we're going to go do that because I can't stand this anymore.
Right. So you drove all the way to, you said Paramount?
Drove to my mom's house, and then we went from there to Paramount because Christina also wanted to see my mom. They hadn't seen each other in years.
A question
Yeah.
everybody's wondering.
Okay.
Did you wear a seatbelt?
Yes. Of course I had to.
Ouch.
Yeah. It was...
I was rubbing up on that cyst on your chest.
Going from my house to my mom's, yeah. Actually, and it's not illegal. I wore it, but I did have to pull the top strap out just a little bit just to keep it off my chest. But
Right.
but it was still, buckled in.
So you get to the doctor's office, the hospital?
Urgent care.
You get to the urgent
Get
care,
to the
you
urgent
sign
care.
in, fill out your info,
And we go back.
insurance, any
And-
allergies.
Of course, all that stuff. Sulfa, by the way. So I asked her. I said, "Okay." I said, "So, what are we gonna do?" Like, I'm sitting there wondering it, and my mom's already told me before. They make an incision. They go in there, dig it out. So I'm like, okay, but now I'm not thinking in depth as to what's going on until I start seeing her bring up the tray
Oh no!
with all the stuff on it, and now I'm starting to freak out.
And then she turns around and goes, "Don't worry, Marcelo. This will only hurt a lot."
She actually had told me, she goes, I'm not going to lie. She goes, it's going to hurt in the beginning.
Oh no!
But once it's numbed up, you're not going to feel anything. So I thought, okay, cool.
So what do they do? Inject you with something?
So they first had to numb it,
How?
needle, which that was the worst pain because
Oh no!
they had to inject the cyst itself to numb the cyst, any nerve ending. So, I'm already here feeling pain over what's basically infected, and they're jamming a needle into it.
They jammed the needle into the place that hurts the most.
Into the cyst. Then they had to inject more of the stuff under the cyst
Oh no!
and around it, the whole area, to make sure I feel absolutely
So you were
nothing.
just getting stabbed up the wahoo.
And that was, I started breathing, I clenched, I was white knuckling because of how much it hurt. Like, that was like,
so you were
holy
like,
shit. Yeah, no, I literally was. Yeah.
like that?
Yeah. And then, of course, you feel like a small burning sensation.
Did you make a sound?
Oh yeah, I did.
What was the sound?
I can't remember.
Was it the sound I just made?
Probably, somewhere close to it, probably. My mom could probably tell you because she was in the room with me.
Did you ask to hold your mom's hand?
Everybody keeps asking that. She offered it, but I'll be honest. Because I didn't think
you
of
want to
it.
hold my hand? You're
So-
like, no, I don't want to break your hand.
Basically, so when I had mascara over here my eyebrow, when I had that stitched up, and they put the numbing needles into it, it just felt like little pinches. Didn't hurt.
Okay.
It hurt, but like I said, it was no more than like getting a shot.
Right.
So that's what I thought it was going to be. So I was like, no, I can handle a couple needles.
You're like, I'm a man.
Yeah, it's just a couple pinches. I get blood drawn, all that stuff, and plus with all the vaccines and boosters that we've gotten over the last years, it's nothing.
Right.
As soon as she put that first needle in, I grabbed the side of the bed, and I could have sworn I was going to rip off the bar. I white knuckled. I have never squeezed something that my forearms were sore for almost 2 days because
Just
of how
from gripping that
how
thing?
hard I was gripping it. I was not expecting.
Did you cuss?
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Give us a taste.
No, I was like, "What the fuck? Oh my god!" Okay.
Oh, man.
So, but like I said, you feel like a burning sensation, and that's the numbing agent numbing the area. And it was funny. And then she was like, "Can you feel this?" I'm like, "What are you doing?" Like, she was getting the needle, and she was poking the cyst, and she was trying to see if I feel anything. I said no. She was okay, good. It's you're fine. She preps the area, and when she gets to it, or when she's about to get to it, I told her, I said, okay, I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I said, this is the first time I've ever had a procedure done like this where I'm awake for it.
Right.
So I do not want you to tell me anything that you are doing. Just do it.
Right.
Don't tell me what you're doing. Don't say you're going to feel. I said, just do it. And I said, I told my mom, I was like, you don't say anything. You just let me just feel whatever is going to happen. I said, if I'm numb, I'll just feel, nothing.
funny 'cause
that wasn't.
I would be the same way too.
Yeah.
Like, just don't tell me what
Yeah,
you're doing.
exactly.
Just
Yeah,
get
I
it
don't-
done, because then my anxiety would just be through the roof the whole time.
Exactly. You know, and I didn't even want to look at it.
When we took our youngest to get her shots, I'm like, "What's up with this? What do they call him? Medical assistant?"
Yeah,
She was like,
which
"All
was
right."
which is what my mom was. Yeah,
I was hoping that the lady would just be like, "All right, turn your head this way, take a deep breath, bam, jab the needle in and get it over with." But no,
Yeah.
she was like, "All right, little one, you're going to feel a pinch." And I'm just like, "Why are you telling her this stuff?
Yeah,
You're making
exactly.
her anxiety go through the roof."
Some people though want to know what you're doing so they can prepare for it.
I guess.
Some people do, but I mean, when it comes to a shot, I usually tell them like, "Hey, do whatever you got to do. I just don't want to look at it." That it just kind of makes me squeamish. I don't pass out, but I just makes me feel uneasy. You know, it just I don't know, something about it just uneasy. But I'm like, yeah, if you got to draw blood, draw blood. You know, I have some pretty good veins in my arm, especially once they put like the strap on. That sounded dirty.
Okay.
And but I usually tell them like, yeah, you know, there's a vein here that everybody uses, and so at least we're on. It kind of takes the anxiety away from me of like them trying to
find it, and
because have you
around.
Have you ever had someone try to either dig around or miss a vein?
I've had someone miss a vein.
Yeah, so that's a
Pisses
whole
me off.
Yeah,
I'm like, kind of want to tell them off. Like, man, you suck.
exactly. So
you told the lady.
So I usually
don't tell me what you're doing. Just do it.
Yeah, and so she kind of laughed. She said, "Okay, you know, noted." You know,
like that.
So she cleans it off. You know, and then she goes, "Okay." She goes, I'm going to start. Just telling me, I'm going to start.
You should have been like, "Why did you tell me?"
So I'm like, okay. So I'm laying down and I'm looking up at the ceiling, and you know I've got the paper thing over it. And here's one thing that freaked me out.
An alien popped out of your chest.
No.
Oh.
I felt her.
Oh no.
Cutting away,
oh, you felt
sawing
like
it.
Like
I felt the pressure.
side?
Yeah, because remember, yeah, the cyst is numb, but all of my skin is attached, so I feel
like a tugging.
Exactly, and I am like, oh my god,
like you know what was going on right there.
And yeah, so she cuts it. She goes in there and she says, luckily, everything in there seemed to be pretty dried up, so it looks like it may have been infected. Her big fear was that it had popped internally. And it was, so she would have to dig around the area to find, you know, all the pieces. But she says no, it looked like it had already started drying up, so everything was right there as soon as she opened it. So she opened it, she pulled everything out, she cleaned it up a little bit, looked in there, checked. She said, okay. She's like, got the whole sack out. I didn't even want to see it. I hear my mom go, oh, is that it? Ugh. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to see it. I just don't want to see it.
I don't think I'd want to see that.
And yeah, she goes, okay. She goes, everything here looks good. She goes, she goes, okay, I'm gonna pack it, and then we'll dress it and we'll get it out of here. And
dress it?
Dressing it meaning covering it, putting bandages on. You dress a wound. You don't, you know, okay. And so yeah, so she gets gauze strips, medicated medicated coating, and packed it in to the wound, and
then he said, let me take some pictures and post this on Instagram.
Of the dressing, yeah. And it's funny, she was like, she was okay. She was, don't mess with anything. She was definitely, because they left a strand, I think maybe even two, of the gauze that they packed with hanging out, just so when it goes to be time to be removed, they have an easier time pulling it out. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so she, you know, patched it up, put the dressing on it, and she's like, yeah, don't touch anything. Only change the dressing if it starts bleeding through, or if it starts, you know, any kind of pus or anything that starts seeping through. And within an hour or two, it was seeping through. But and then speaking of shots from earlier, I had to get a tetanus shot because it had been at least 5 years since I had gotten one. So how fun! I got a tetanus shot.
Anything to get a tetanus shot. These people, I tell you what.
And then so there was that, and then of course, you know, the other headache that I had was she was going to give me an antibiotic and a painkiller, ibuprofen, just really strong ibuprofen. But she was going to give me the antibiotic that she gave me was called clindamycin.
Okay.
So it's one I never heard of before. But I was like, okay, well, I said as long as you do the generic, my insurance will cover it. Because I know a lot of name brand stuff. My insurance either doesn't cover or covers very little.
Mm-hmm.
They put the order into the CVS, and I immediately get a text from CVS. One of your prescriptions. We received 2 orders. One of your prescriptions not covered under insurance.
Oh,
so I'm like, okay, let me see. So the ibuprofen. So actually, technically, both of them weren't really covered. But I guess the ibuprofen doesn't cost that much, but it was still going to be like $15
Okay.
for ibuprofen.
All right.
And for the cinnamoxin, $131.
Jeez.
So I was like, okay. And then luckily Christina was like, well, we have some here. I'll sell it to you for $20.
Oh,
Cool. Here's $20, but on that, and I said, don't worry. If it's the ibuprofen's only $15, I can get that.
You should have been like, can you just give me some crack with a K?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah. If I'd have known, if I would have known about the company.
Well, it's a brand new company.
Yeah. So I head over to CVS. Plus, we got to stop by CVS to get more bandages and dressings, just in case it happens to seep through. Because about an hour or two later, it was seeping through.
Oh no!
But I think it was mainly because of the gauze, the medicated gauze that was packed. Since it was hanging out, it was touching the bandage. So I think it would just the bandage was absorbing all that extra stuff.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't bloody. It was more like pus-like, but that was the antibiotics. Get to CVS. We update here was the other thing. They didn't have the updated version of my insurance. My company, since I had to go in for a prescription, didn't have the group number, the new group number. We switched prescription groups. Once they updated it, the cinnamoxin, $15. The ibuprofen, $7. So I could have saved $5.
Right.
And the ibuprofen I was going to pick up there anyway, so I paid $7 for that.
So was this like a clerical mistake?
It would just,
You just had to update.
I just had to update the group number. Yeah, the group number of the of my insurance. So yeah, I could say $5, but either way, I got it. And
Man,
that
I
was
could do is $5.
exactly.
Wow.
So that was my Sunday. I was gonna, and I asked her. I asked Christina. I was like, "Am I doing any restrictions for work?" So she's like, "What do I do for work?" I told her what I did for work, and she goes, "As long as you can keep it clean, you can go back to work." So I was like, "Okay, cool. I don't have to take days off." Woke up Monday, and I was sore because now the anesthesia is fully worn off. So I'm like, I'm not in pain. It's just I have an open wound on my chest. So I'm like, and then she had said, she says I need to get it repacked in 2 days. So I'm like, okay, that's perfect. Sunday I have it done. Monday, Tuesday's day 2. I have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday with Silberger, or my other doctor, my doctor.
Okay.
Which I was going to get the cyst removed anyways.
Right.
So I'm like, I'll keep the appointment. So Monday I wake up sore. I stay home from work. I've got to change the bandage. So we take it off, and I look at it, and it's weird. It's like a little bit of bloody, but it's weird to see gauze hanging out. Like it's like do you mean like part gauze is in your body? The gauze that was packed in it is hanging out because of that one little strand. But it's just weird to see something hanging out of you.
Okay.
For guys, at least. I mean, women have the tampons, so I mean, you do have the string hanging out, so I guess it's not that weird for them. But for guys, we don't really necessarily have stuff like that hanging out of us. So,
sounds disgusting.
Yeah, and it kind of did look a little disgusting because I mean, it's an open wound.
Right.
But it was odd. No stitches, just the covering.
Nice.
Monday, like I said, took the day off. Monday, Tuesday, I took half day because I had the doctor's appointment. And I head over to the doctor, and doctor, this is another kind of odd feel, pulling the gauze out.
Oh, no.
And it was more of a burning sensation because he was kind of, I don't want to say tearing open, but you're kind of pulling open the wound after it's starting to kind of heal up.
Yep.
And so I had a stinging sensation as he was pulling everything out. And he looks at it and goes, He goes, we don't need to repack it.
Okay.
He goes, which is good for you because we don't numb you for the packing.
Oh, wow.
So if we had to pack it, they were just going to use their fingers and start packing. Yeah. I mean, of course, gloved up and all that stuff. But if he's got fat fingers. 2 of my fingers are probably one of his. So imagine that trying to pack shit into a wound. Yeah.
You would have just...
I would have hoped that he would pulled in one of the nurses who had smaller fingers to pack it in.
Or else he would have had another hole in there.
Exactly. Yeah, an even bigger one. So he said, no. He goes, it looks like it's healing well on its own. He goes, just keep dressing it. Just keep putting bandages, change him out whenever you need to. So I was changing him out just about every day. Once I went back to work, I started sweating a little more because I wasn't going back to full bore. My bosses knew what was going on. I explained everything to them. I said, as long as I can keep it clean, the doctor says I have no restrictions, but I'm going to be limited to my mobility because it's in the middle of my chest. Can't quite cross my arms, can't quite stretch back.
Right.
So I'm going to be limited as to what I can do. Luckily, I had a guy that was training with me, so I could just have him do most of the work and help me out. So that whole rest of the week was just very, very, I don't want to say difficult, but just odd.
It was different. You had to deal with this thing on your chest.
Yeah, going from being able to do everything and anything and being the guy at work that does, everything and anything to the blades to I can't do much to them. I can barely pick my hands up over my head without, my chest, just through basic anatomy of, squeezing your body, the body moving and all that stuff.
So how long were you like that? Just that week?
Most of the time, and most of it was a week. The following week, the week 2 of having it, when I think I had my mom so the following Saturday or Sunday when I went to my mom's house again, I had her clean it, get in the really good. So she got hydrogen peroxide and a cotton ball, and she scrubbed on it a little bit, but it was already closed up at the time.
Okay.
So, but it was just a scab of bloody, dirt. Because disgusting as it sounds, I hadn't showered. Because you have an open
wound.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to get an infection or whatever, yeah.
And then plus, because of the hair on my chest, the bandages weren't forming a good tight seal around it. Because the bandages were on the hair, and the hair, it wasn't pressed down on my skin. So I couldn't quite shower, so I just took, quick little, what they call horse baths. Just, the areas that need be cleaned. And
which areas are that?
The areas that you thought people were feeling up earlier.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, and so that's the reason why it was so caked up in dry blood and all that stuff. Couldn't quite clean it at the time, but I wanted to see. It's been a week. Clean it up, and we looked at it, and it was just a scab. So I think I kept it covered for another day. And then after that, I had it open, showered regularly, and was able to kind of clean it a little more, and a little more movement, which I was glad about, because then it became like the worst part of me moving my arms at work was having the bandages pull on the hair. So move one way and it tugs on one side of the hair.
Ouch.
And yeah, it's pulling of hair on the chest. But now, no bandages. This whole past week, no bandages.
All right, you're a free man.
Just about, yeah. All that's got there is a scab that just has
This little scab back to normal.
Yep.
You could do all the normal things.
So far,
nice.
Haven't gone back to working out yet, just because I don't want to crack the scab open, because there is a bump there. So I don't want.
You just want to play it safe.
Exactly. So I figure probably by next week, maybe the following week, when I have my next day off, I can probably go back to kickboxing.
Sweet.
Start working out, try to get back to somewhat of a normal routine. So, because even though I like staying home and playing video games and being lazy, it feels like, man, like I'm not home this much. So it's like I'm getting tired of being home, So
that's what led you to go to bed early, like you were telling me.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what else to do, so I guess I can just go to bed early. So I mean, I've just been going to bed like at 7.
And we're able to podcast early today. You'll still be able to get to bed early.
Yeah, I mean, it's bedtime's in about almost 3 hours. So
all right.
Yeah.
The last thing I had a question about your cyst story.
Yeah.
The ExorCYST.
The exorcist, which I went to go see the exorcist.
You were saying, you hinted something about having to shave your chest
so
or something. Did you do a little manscaping?
Kind
up
of,
there?
yeah. Because after having that done on my chest, I was like, man, like if that were to ever happen again for whatever reason, because there's a bump right below that one, but that one hasn't grown. I feel like it's more of like what they call like an invisible mole.
Okay.
Which I have one like on the top of my head a little bit. Comes and goes. It'll kind of shrink. It'll kind of go away, but nothing infectious. Nothing infectious. In case that were to happen again, and I have to bandage it up, I want to be able to have more skin contact with the bandages.
Right.
So yeah, luckily we're getting warmer. Weather's getting warmer, so just trimmed up the chest.
Trimmed or like completely shaved?
Trimmed it because one of the ways that you can get a sebaceous cyst is an ingrown hair from shaving too close.
Oh,
from
and we don't want that.
Exactly. So so in fear of getting another one, in case, kept it
nice and trim.
Yep.
Does it bother you, like the shorter hair?
No. So far, no. Little prickly here and there. Once like if I'm not wearing a shirt and you kind of, cross your arm, you do kind of feel like that little bit of a prickle.
All right.
But no, nothing. I used to do it. I used to do it back in high school, college days. So I mean, it's nothing new. It's just different. Just kind of been 10 years since I've done it. So,
fun fact. That's something I've never done.
Oh no!
Shave my chest. I got some little baby hairs.
There was a girl I dated that it was insistent no chest hair. So for the 3 or 4 months that her and I dated, I did shave. I
shaved it for her.
Yeah.
She was all up in the chestises.
No, whole different story for another day. But no, it was I should have just kept it. But I mean, I did like the feel of it at the time. I was in better shape, so it did kind of look a little better. But
the things we do for love.
Yeah, but no, trimming it, like I said, it doesn't feel really any much different. Feels a little cooler. Like I said, it's getting hotter, so. Temperature's kind of creeping up. So
start to warm up.
Yep.
Anyway, the Exorcist.
The Exorcist.
That was amazing. I love that story.
And I mean, I could have come up with a bunch of other names for it, but I like Exorcist because it's like you go to an exorcist to have something removed, a demon removed from a child, and I went to an exorcist, CYST, to get a cyst removed.
To get that demon removed because it seemed to have possessed your whole being.
So I think that took a big old chunk of our episode today. So
man, but that was
the heart of it. So, but any good informative story, I guess, as to how we should take care of himself. Definitely the sebaceous cyst. One of some of the main causes is not cleaning well. So they said that usually when people see sebaceous cysts, it's usually in area like intimate areas that aren't quite cleaned very well. I actually heard of 2 stories from my mom and from a coworker who dated a girl that worked at a medical office of guys that have come in with sebaceous cysts on their scrotums. Yeah,
that part
that they've had to lance, remove, and pack. My mom had to repack a sebaceous cyst or an open wound on the guy's testicles. So,
you know what? It seems like those men that had to get that done received some really bad news from their doctor.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So with that, keeping that in mind. We don't want to bring bad news to anybody.
Nope.
But Marcelo, what do we want to bring to everybody?
I think we want to bring Simple Times news.
Thank you, Marcelo.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and give us your story first, because I've got a story too, and I think I've talked.
It's not just a story; it's the news. Simple Times news.
So I think I've talked enough for a little bit. So let's hear what you got for us on STN.
Thank you, Marcelo. So, today on the Simple Times News, this news story comes to us from the New York Post. This is written by Andrew Court. Thank you, Andrew, for bringing this
Oh, what do they
news
call
article.
that? Your tocayo.
My tocayo?
Your tocayo.
Remind me?
Because you guys have the same name.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Wow, Marcelo. Here's the headline. You ready for the headline?
Yes, give it to me.
Here's our first headline of the Simple Times News. It's couple accidentally ships pet cat in Amazon return box. Stunning warehouse worker. Here we go. The cat's out of the box. A pet kitty survived almost a week without food or water after being accidentally shipped off in an Amazon return box by its owners. The feline, named Jelena, it's with a G. Jelena.
Okay. Either way.
I'm going to go with Galena.
Okay.
Was found inside the box by a startled employee at an Amazon warehouse in California on April 17th, 6 days after disappearing from her home in Utah. I didn't believe it at first and thought it was a prank, kitty owner Carrie Clark told local news. But it was alive. Clark first noticed Galena had gone missing on April 10th. Clark's the last name of the owner of the cat, prompting a frantic search of the neighborhood for any sign of the missing animal. Galena is a huge emotional support to me and has helped me get through my many health challenges over the past 6 years, Clark explained. The anxiety and stress of not knowing what happened to her was excruciating. You like my voice acting? For nearly a week, Clark and her family squared around, putting posters up in the air, pleading for any information about the cat's whereabouts. Then, on April 17th, Clark was stunned when she received a call from a vet in California saying that Galena was brought into the clinic where her microchip was scanned. The vet explained that the cat had been brought in by an Amazon worker named Brandy, who found the feline in a return box with Clark's home address on it.
Was Brandy a fine one?
I can show you pictures of her.
Okay, you don't get it. It's a song. I'll play for you later.
Oh, sorry. I ran to tell my husband that Galena was found, and we broke down upon realizing she must have jumped into an oversized box that we shipped out on the previous Wednesday, Clark stated. The box was a try before you buy and filled with steel-toed work boots, she explained. So basically, long story short, I want to keep reading this thing. The cat got in the return box, and apparently it was a big box. And it was filled with like steel-toed work boots and also some other kinds of boxes that these people wanted to return back to Amazon. And I guess the cat got in, they packaged it up, sent it to be returned.
Yeah.
And was gone for 6 days.
I mean,
6 days.
Too bad it wasn't a bag.
A bag?
Because then you could have said the cat's out of the bag.
Oh, there we go.
So, I mean, but oddly enough, I have a similar kind of personal story of something similar. So I grew up with cats.
Yeah.
And at the time, the cats that I had were Bailey and Freeway. We were moving into the house over Millmark.
I remember. Yeah.
And
good times.
Yeah, and when we first brought boxes in, we were kind of like, "Where's the cats?" You know, and we ended up finding Freeway. So it was the first time we had a fireplace, and we found Freeway up the fireplace in the fluke. So in that it's like a hatch in the fireplace that you can close and open. Yeah, he was up there sleeping. He managed to get up there and lay down. And they were like, "Okay, where's Bailey?" You know, we know we had brought him in because we had him in the carriers and all that stuff. But we're like, "Where the hell's Bailey at?" So we're looking and looking. Somehow, some way, she was in a box full of CDs at the bottom of the box. We don't. As if we put her in there and then put the CDs around her. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's cats get fucking everywhere. They can squeeze into especially if it's a box.
Right.
Is there a picture of it?
Here's a picture of
the cat?
Galena
Okay.
in that box. You see how it's like
Yeah.
underneath other boxes?
That's kind of how Bailey looked like when she was in the box of CDs.
This was the box of contents. You see like work boots
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I guess the cat got in there. And you can see that the owners would have not known there was anything in there.
Fucking cats in boxes, man, I swear.
And just taped it up. But 6 days without
Yeah.
food or water? That's
Yeah.
kind of insane.
Yeah, that is.
Went from, what did they say, Nevada to California.
I mean, it's not that long of a travel, but still. I mean,
6 days?
6 days though, yeah.
With no food or water. That's insane.
Yeah.
So it's a happy story.
Yeah.
The cat got reconnected. I think they either drove or flew to California, picked up the cat from the vet, drove
Right.
back home, and everybody was happy after that. Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy?
Yeah, it is.
I thought
yeah.
that was Simple Times newsworthy.
Well,
that was my news. You got news, Marcelo?
I do have a news.
Well, before you jump into news, can I play that music one more time?
Yeah, sure, why not? We do it every time.
Here we go.
Speaking of crazy stories, if you thought yours was crazy, I know yours are postal worker. So I mean, thinking of having a possible live animal in one of the packages you have to deliver.
Not uncommon. I mean, it's not normal, but
Yeah.
we do deliver live animals.
You like reptiles, right?
Well, last week there was a box of baby chicks in there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then like live worms.
Right, yeah.
But go on.
But this comes to us by USA Today.
Oh, USA.
Which, that's another story for another day. I'll tell you that story later. A woman brought a man in a wheelchair into a South American bank and attempted to take out a loan in his name. But the man, it's a little bit of spoils it a little.
I have an
way.
idea, and I'm scared.
Erica D'Souza Vieira Nunez, 42, was arrested Tuesday following a bizarre incident in Bangu, a neighborhood in western Rio de Janeiro, civil police reported. The woman claimed that the man, identified by police as 68-year-old Paulo Roberto Braga, was her uncle and wanted to sign papers for a $3,250 loan. Police Chief Fabio Souza, who heads the 34th Police Station, said the victim had likely been dead for at least 2 hours.
Oh, man.
Dead man's... So,
Weekend at Bernie's?
bank employees got suspicious and called the police. The outlets reported that when the officers arrived, they confirmed Braga was dead. During an interview with police, a woman told officers she routinely cared for her uncle, who was debilitated. Police said that they later confirmed the woman is related to the man. Police are still investigating the cause of the death. Both outlets reported. But they basically say that, I mean, I think since then, they've basically said that it was natural causes. She didn't kill him. It was just natural causes that he died of. But she was like, I need a loan, and...
He's right here.
Right.
So he can,
he
can sign for
now
it.
Here's the thing. Now here's the thing. There's video of it. There's video of her having this guy, okay? So it says here, a video circulating on social media and posted by some news outlets shows Nunez trying to hold the man's head up using her hand, talking to the reportedly dead man in the wheelchair.
So let me guess. She said to him, all right, uncle, look alive.
No, I mean, basically, yeah. She was talking to him. They said that when they well, here, let me read a little more into it, and if they don't have what I'm going to say, I'll tell you.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead.
It says, I don't think this is legal. He doesn't look well. He's very pale, one teller says in the video that captured the scene inside the bank branch. Nunez responds in footage and says he's like that, and says, sign so you don't have to give me any more headaches. I can't take it anymore. The police investigator Fabio Luiz told local outlet CBN Rio the victim had been hospitalized a few days prior to his reported death, and it appears Nunez acted alone. As soon as I found out about the case, at first I didn't believe it. Until now, I'm surprised as the other colleagues who have called me. In addition to fraud, the woman is being charged with abuse of a corpse, which CNN Brazil reported. So that was the end of it. So they said in the video, if you watch it, and you can, like I said, it's clear in the video, they said it's pretty comical. Because you'll see her like as they're sitting there talking, trying to get this loan going, he's in a wheelchair, and his head would slump forward. So she would pick his head up.
Oh, no.
And when his head would be up, it would slump backwards. And so she was constantly trying to get his head up. And then when it came to signing the paperwork, you could see she would grab his hand to put the pen in, and his pen would go, hand would go up on the desk. And when he would do that, his head would slump. So then she'd have to pick up the head. But when she pick up the head, the arm would slump. It was like this Three Stooges kind of like a scene of like constantly trying to move.
One thing moves another.
Exactly.
And,
yeah.
Get this straight.
Yeah, and they said that the whole video is of her trying to make it seem like he's.
My question is, did she know he was dead?
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Oh,
she knew he was dead. It wasn't like she was just caring, but she just thought, I need this loan.
Because it almost kind of sounded like
she didn't quite know or something.
He died en route.
No,
to the bank loan.
The article says he died 2 days before they went into the bank.
2 days.
So she knew he was dead, but she was in a desperate need, and she needed this $3,000, and I guess she had no one else to co-sign for it, so she decided to have him to try to see if she can get away with it. Not thinking much of it. So
she knew.
She knew, and she brought him in and still tried to sign.
My uncle.
Yep.
In her head, my uncle's dead.
Yep.
But I need this loan, and got to wield his dead body around.
Yeah, and later I'll.
Did she put sunglasses on the dude?
I don't know. I haven't seen the video, but I will look up the video. I will send it to you. Maybe we can post it to our Instagram so others can see, because it's been floating around.
That's crazy.
So it's not it's nothing that we have specifically.
Well,
so
that was incredible, and Marcelo, I am dying for some laughs.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Rate my segue.
Let's see, dying. I'd give it about a solid 8.5.
Okay, all right. Thanks, man.
Thanks. I wish I could have given some assist since to that segue, but I mean, hey, but speaking of cysts again.
Oh, sweet. Wait. Oh. I gotta play the Midnight Club music.
All right.
That's the
vibe. That's the theme.
It's the calling card.
All right, so
we're at a comedy club.
Play the music for Jokes with Hefe. So going with the theme, I decided, why not look up cyst jokes? And I mean,
how do we outdo ourselves?
I didn't honestly.
Every episode that we make is my new favorite episode.
I
don't understand.
I never even expected them to have jokes about cysts.
How does this happen?
But sure enough, I just one Google search and boom, it popped up.
How does this happen? We're so good.
I know.
Go ahead, Marcelo.
A nurse was dating a doctor and got pregnant. The married doctor begged her to keep it a secret and asked her to keep away from public eye. 9 months later, she came to the hospital for delivery. At the same moment, a priest was admitted for having a large cyst on his prostate gland. The doctor had an idea. He sedates the priest under anesthesia and removes the cyst. When the priest wakes up, the doctor greets him with the baby and tells him that it was a miracle that they found a baby in his prostate. The priest, being a God-fearing man, didn't question it and took the baby home. 15 years later, after the baby had grown into a young boy, the priest decided to have a chat with him. The little boy asks, "Father, can you tell me where I come from?" The priest looks at him and says, "Look, son, I'm your mother. The father's your archbishop."
Oh, what?
Over your head, or do you need me to explain that one?
Explain it for the people that are like me.
That are like you?
I'm not the only one.
Yeah. The priest and the archbishop had sex.
Oh.
So get it? Archbishop's the father, he's the mother, so.
Oh, man. All right. You got to laugh out of me.
A man took his big dog to the vet for a checkup. The vet checked the dog over and then picked him up and said, "Yep, he's got a cyst on his bum. I'm going to have to put him down." The guy looked shell-shocked. "You're putting him down because of a cyst?" "Oh, no," said the vet. "He's just really heavy."
Oh, because the vet was holding him, and it was a pretty big cyst. Okay.
How does a lawyer get rid of their cancer? They write a cease and desist.
A ceased and
The other day, I saw a rose making fun of a tulip that had a bump on its stem, so I stepped on the rose. I'm just doing my part to stop systemic racism.
Wow.
Systemic? What did one pimple say to the other? Hey, what's up, sister?
All right. That was a nice little all ages type of jokes.
This isn't so much. A boil killed itself. It was a cyst did suicide.
Oh, yeah, that was more like high school level. For high school aged.
This quite isn't a cyst one, but there is cyst in it. So, best friends graduated from medical school at the same time and decided that, in spite of two different specialties, they would open a practice together to share office space and personnel. Dr. Smith was the psychiatrist, and Dr. Jones was a proctologist. They put up a sign reading, Dr. Smith and Dr. Jones, hysterias and posteriors. The town council was livid and insisted they change it, so the docs changed it to read, schizoids and hemorrhoids. This was also not acceptable, so they again changed the sign to catatonics and hyclonics. No go. Next, they tried manic depressives and anal retentives. Thumbs down again. Then came minds and behinds. Still not good enough. Another attempt resulted in lost souls and buttholes. Unacceptable again. So then they tried analysists and anal cysts. And not a chance. Nope, still not. Nuts and butts? Nope, not way. Nope, no way. Freaks and cheeks? Nope, still not good enough. Loons and moons? Forget it. Almost at their wits' end, the doctors finally came up with Dr. Smith and Dr. Jones, specializing in odds and ends. And everyone approved.
All right, Marcel, that was really good. That was my favorite one so far.
What's a mass in your body that is really helpful? A cyst.
Oh, assist. Assist.
And here's the last one. A man found a mole on his arm one day. He'd never seen it before, but he wasn't the most attentive person, so he left it alone. A week passed. Eventually, that mole began to grow and seemed to bleed into the skin around it. The man asked his wife about it, and she said he should probably get it checked out, but he ignored the advice, assuming it was just a cyst. Another week passes, and it starts to hurt every time he flexes his elbow. Finally, he decided to get it checked out. The doctor shook his head empathetically and said, "I've got bad news. It's a malignant melanoma. It's skin cancer." In less than a month, the man had been reduced to a shell of his former self. His teenage son was hit hard by the news, and his grades begun to slip. They hadn't caught it in time, and it was fatal. Eventually, as his strength began to fade, he called his family to his bedside. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I didn't listen to you, honey. I thought I would know whether it was cancer or not." He beckoned for his son to lean in, which he did tearfully, and the father looked up to him and said, "Son, I'm sorry, but I guess I don't have a good sense of tumor."
Oh, no! Come on. Sense of tumor? Really? That's what you want to end the show on?
Yeah, and that's the end of Jokes with Hefe.
Well, always a great one of my personal favorite segments. Holds a special place in my heart. So, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, that is episode 27, The Exorcist.
Way too good. Marcel, this was a fun one.
Yeah, I
had
think
a great
so.
time.
It's been a while since I've talked this much, so yeah,
So it was it was deserved.
I think so.
Knocked it out of the park. All right, so everybody listening, thank you for joining us on episode 27, The Exorcist. If you want to hear more, well, listen to our old episodes.
Yeah.
They still hold up. If you want to be on Simple Shoutouts, once again, write to us, simpletimespodcast@gmail.com. Send us a line. Send us a message. Send us an idea. Send us a comment. Good or bad.
Follow us on social media.
Instagram, X, Facebook. Those are the main ones that we're on. And last but not least, make sure you go to Instagram and check out A Fear and Review, the podcast under Beach Class Studios. And you know what? Stick around. You know, Marcelo, can I tell you that I'm into violence?
Oh, really?
I want people to smash that like button.
Okay.
I want them to destroy that follow. Give us a like, give us a review. Smash those buttons on your screens. Because we have a lot of stuff coming up in the future, and I know we say that all the time, but Marcelo knows what I purchased from Amazon, so we've got a lot of stuff coming up, and you won't want to miss it. Good stuff, really good stuff. Any last words, Jeffy?
No. I think I'm good. I'm good on this one.
Your sister's good?
My sister's good. Yeah.
Your sister's as good as gone, just like this episode.
Yeah. Exactly. So we exorcised the cyst.
And time for me to make my exit.
It sounds like you need an assist on your outro. So let's go work on that.
Peace out.